Attention, Britian. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a palace leak. It was a document, signed, sealed, and permanent. One signature erased Meghan Markle from the royal family forever. Not suspended. Not demoted. Erased. The most shocking part wasn't the punishment itself. It was that Prince William didn't hesitate. He picked up the pen, pressed it into the paper, and ended something no future monarch could ever undo. And before we go any further, hit subscribe right now so you don't miss the fallout that's still unfolding. William walked into the meeting carrying an order that had already survived final legal review. This wasn't a warning. It wasn't another restricted privilege or temporary freeze. It was a permanent removal of every single HR-linked benefit Meghan still held behind palace walls. HR privileges, not just a title. Private ceremonial recognition, protected access, correspondence customs, and the invisible thread that still tied her name to the crown. With one stroke, William severed it. Music, but that wasn't the line that shocked the room. At the bottom, a permanence clause made it irreversible. No future king could bring her back. No family reconciliation could restore what was taken. Charles sat across the table, pale and silent. He knew what this meant for Harry. William paused, pen hovering. For a second, duty collided with memory. Then he signed, and looked at his father. This cannot be undone. The king gave one reluctant nod. The ink wasn't dry before Harry learned the decision had been made. He demanded to speak to his brother. He didn't know the order had already left the room. While aides carried the signed paper into the palace system, Harry was still holding his phone, waiting for a call that would never come. So why did William go this far? Not anger, not revenge, fear. A few days earlier, a private Windsor ceremony meant to honor the next generation of working royals suddenly stopped. Minutes before it began, Meghan's representative sent a formal demand. All future correspondence regarding her children, ceremonial invitations, and family access must continue to recognize her as her Royal Highness inside private palace systems. Her Royal Highness wasn't just a style. It was status, precedence, and a door that never fully closed. William read the message twice. Then he halted the entire ceremony and ordered a protocol officer to confirm the demand was real. Music. He saw it as an attempt to hold royal authority without royal duty. Harry called. He said Meghan was protecting their children from being erased. William replied that titles cannot become leverage against the crown. Neither brother shouted. The silence between them was worse. Then the protocol officer uncovered the hidden danger. An old courtesy provision allowed dormant HR privileges to stay alive in restricted family settings. That loophole could be used to claim precedence of future ceremonies, entry to protected royal spaces, and recognition inside sealed records. William stepped into a side room and ended the call without another word. Catherine watched him return. She asked what happened. He looked at the waiting officials and said only, "It ends now." What followed wasn't a negotiation. It was a confrontation Meghan demanded to have directly with William. No aides, no cameras. She entered the call believing she was facing the man who had decided to erase her from the royal structure forever. She accused him of building rules to distance the monarchy from her while still benefiting from her global visibility. William didn't soften. He told her she had rejected every duty attached to royal status, but kept defending the influence it gave her. Then Meghan asked the one question she had held back for years. Would you have done this to Catherine? Music. William paused. The silence carried everything. Catherine never asked to keep the crown while standing outside it. That changed the room. Meghan's anger sharpened, but then she revealed something William hadn't expected. Charles had privately promised Harry during a recorded family call that recognition within the family would never be permanently withdrawn. She believed that promise protected the privileges now being stripped. William answered without hesitation. The king promised family belonging, not constitutional standing. And then he delivered the deeper blow. Charles had already accepted the final wording of the order. Meghan removed her earpiece and sat frozen. When she came back, her voice was cold. Harry will never forgive you. William's expression flickered at his brother's name, but he didn't retreat. Forgiveness cannot be purchased by leaving the monarchy exposed. Hours later, Harry received a formal notice. The language was brutal. Every remaining HR privilege was terminated. No appeal, no restoration. He read the order aloud while Meghan listened. Then he reached the line declaring that no future monarch could ever reverse it. His voice broke. Meghan's calm shattered. The words weren't closing a present dispute. They were sealing every possible future. At music, Harry called Charles. The king didn't answer. That silence, more than any signature, told him the family he trusted was gone. He turned the final page and saw his father's acknowledgement beneath William's name. The king hadn't just known. He'd accepted it. Near midnight, William broke his own restriction and called Harry. For the first time, they spoke not as the heir and the outsider, but as two sons shaped by the same grief. Harry asked one question. Is there anything I could say tonight that would make you reverse it? William's reply was quiet. No, that honesty ended the fight faster than rage ever could. Harry's anger collapsed into grief. He told William their relationship would never return to what it had been. William didn't argue. He just listened. Then he revealed something that had been kept hidden. During the final review, advisors pushed for broader restrictions affecting Harry's birth status and the children's family recognition. William refused. Blood, he said, cannot be rewritten by anger. Children do not inherit punishment for adult choices. For a moment, the brothers sat in shared pain. Then the call ended. No peace, just truth. By morning, the world knew. Headlines carried William's signature beneath the words of final line. Outside Buckingham Palace, crowds held signs reading "Protect the Crown" and "Family is not a privilege." Catherine watched the coverage and heard commentators call the order personal revenge. She knew how heavily it had rested on William, but the world would only ever judge what it saw. Charles switched off the television and told an aide the public would never understand the cost. Meghan released a written statement. She said dignity does not depend on palace recognition. She would not beg. She would not appeal again. She would define her future outside the institution that had closed its final door. And William? During an engagement, a reporter asked if he regretted signing. He paused. I regret that it became necessary. The order is now inside protected royal archive, the vault where decisions meant to endure are preserved. Before the folder was sealed, William looked at his signature one last time. He didn't celebrate. He understood. He had protected the crown, but he had also surrendered the possibility of easy reconciliation. Catherine met him outside. She asked if the matter was finished. He said, The order is finished. The pain is not. She took his hand, and they walked away together. The signature didn't erase Meghan's voice, her marriage, or her identity. It did something colder. It drew the final boundary between belonging to the family and possessing the power of the crown. And that line can never be crossed again. If you believe the truth matters, like this video, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? I read every single one. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next update.